Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and our Simple Abundance year with Sarah Von Braunick's book, Simple Abundance. I'm exhausted. I almost didn't do a video. This week has been all over the place. Started off rough. I had a highlight with you guys on the live fairy tea party. Then I got extremely physically ill. Then I was a little bit better. Then I was ill again. Then I've just had a really busy weekend because I work part-time over the weekends. And I'm just dealing with a lot. And I often feel like I wish I had somebody besides Annabelle to lean on more in my everyday experience. So I'm all over the place. Sorry. But I think it's perfectly timed because today's entry that I want to discuss is called Real Life Has a Steep Learning Curve. It's actually tomorrow's entry, but I keep telling myself I want to do the bathroom tour for you, but that also involves just cleaning it up a little bit more so that it's video worthy, and I'm not up to that today. So maybe if I do this one today, then I could do the bathroom tour tomorrow or the next day. So I've only just skimmed this. I'm going to read some of it along with you guys and just talk about it. But I think she's really hitting home on the fact that here we are, we're a little more than halfway through the year. So real life has a steep learning curve. Is there anything that comes to mind when I say that? One of the quantum leaps that comes about on the simple abundance path is the sudden awareness that you've spent your entire life going backward instead of forward. You may have believed that seeking a spiritual path was all about submission, sacrifice, and suffering, and that only the worldly path could provide freedom, fulfillment, and good fortune. Then, one morning, maybe even this morning, you make a connection. And when you do, you realize that you have to unlearn practically everything you've taken for granted, chapter and verse. What do you guys think about that? Are you experiencing that? I think I need to know more of what she means. Don't panic, she says. This really isn't as hard as it sounds. Has the other path worked? Have any of the world's gifts blessed you with authentic happiness? Has the perfect job, relationship, house, money, or anything else you thought would do it for you fulfilled you for longer than a week? So trust your experiences and impulses. You have them for a reason. Real life has a steep learning curve, but once you respond from personal knowledge instead of by note, it's easier than you might have thought. What's more, real life actually becomes fun. I can see how we're learning all the time through life. Can you relate to that? I can see how you could wake up one day and feel like you had to relearn everything. Maybe you had a paradigm shift of some kind, or you had some life-altering thing happen. We talked about that recently. This is what Sarah says. Here's what I think happens. Just before we come to Earth to begin this life, we are given a photograph of our futures, the cosmic plan, to get us excited about the great adventure ahead. As the photo pops out of the celestial camera, we're in such a hurry to get on with it, we grab the negative instead of the photograph. Now we've got the pattern of a fabulous life, but the perspective is reversed. What's white looks black. What's black appears white. We've got the picture, but it's backwards. That's really a really novel thought. Wonder how she came to that. She says, so we cry when we should be laughing, or are envious when we should feel inspired, experience deprivation instead of abundance, do it the hard way instead of the easy way, pull back instead of reaching out. And worst of all, we close our hearts so we won't get hurt. when opening them is the only way we'll ever know joy. I could cry with that statement. I told you guys that I struggle with a lot of things, and there's so much around my heart. And it's so guarded. I said that to you guys before in that video from, I think it was February, in the Woman with a Past video. I just really push things away because I don't want to get hurt, but then I end up hurting so much anyway. How many times have we waited for Spirit to move for us when in fact Spirit is waiting to work with us? Today, take the negative of your cosmic plan and let love develop it so that you can begin learning and living the life for which you were created. It's time to move forward. This is really a deep one. I have to think about that negative idea in terms of, I wonder if anybody out there, I'm sure my watchers do, remember negatives for pictures. I don't think nowadays that somebody might know what a negative is, but I do believe that when we decide to come into this life that we have a framework for expecting all the possibilities. I don't think everything's mapped out so that, I don't know if she's saying that it's like a snapshot that, no matter what, it's going to happen that way. I think there's a million different ways that life can go. But I do feel like we have a sense, and I feel like we choose some of the people. I think we continue to have lives with certain people. That's my belief. Our soul families. And we don't always make easy decisions. I'm learning that a lot in this life. Yeah, that's a lot about what my week has been about. I'm figuring it out. And kind of on that steep learning curve of life. I don't know if you found this video at all helpful. This may be just one to think about. And to think about the framework and whether you think that you can change the trajectory of how things are going. Can you heal things that have happened, or feelings, or traumas, or fights, or strained relationships? I don't know, but it can feel overwhelming. I know that for sure. But I'm glad we have the simple abundance path and the gratitude exercises. And even in the difficult times, not really necessarily forcing ourselves to do it. I did share that in the gratitude video back at the beginning of the year, that when you're in a dark place, it can really feel like you're just stretching to write down that you love something or that something went well during the day. That last video about the repotting and the other garden metaphors really has been on my mind too. I was talking to a coworker at my part-time job who was sharing some things that are upcoming for her in the next week and how excited she was for things. And I immediately thought of that last entry because I thought, gee, I don't really have anything scheduled right now. I just have a lot of things to do, and I still have a lot of things to figure out and a lot of anxiety about things. So that's a lesson in that. I'm sure that I had that experience of her telling me those things because it was a little nudge from Spirit that I should schedule some things. Tonight I did indulge in a very nice bath. You know, I love my baths, and I actually had found a giant bath bomb thing, you know, that you can put in that fizzes and makes the water really soft and fragrant. So that was my sweet pleasure for the day. But I think I can think of some more self-care things to do, so that as I'm on this journey of the life lessons, that I can be kinder to myself, and hopefully physically I am on the mend. I'm definitely better today than I was a couple of days ago. So I'm sure that's a mirror of my emotional up and down last week. So it sort of manifested in a questionable physical state. Such is my life, and I'm learning and I'm growing, like we talked about last time. What about you guys? I appreciate you letting me express where I'm at. Like I said, I don't know if this was helpful to anybody. Maybe it's helpful so that you know that you're not alone if you're going through the same sort of ups and downs, or questioning everything, or having anxiety about what's ahead. It's been an interesting year. I appreciate you being there, and I promise that bathroom tour is in our future, and we will be wrapping up the end of the month, and then we'll be getting into the joyful simplicities for July. I hope that your summer bucket list is off to a good start. That would be a good thing for me to look at this week and try to schedule one thing from my bucket list. That's a good idea. So they can have that to look forward to. I hope you do that as well. And thank you again for watching. I will see you next time on the next video. Have a nice night.